Alright, so this is the result of the medallions burst code mechanic that I made. Again, all the medallions are linked to a timer device, and once it succeeds, they will appear. You can link one medallion per timer device, so they don't appear at the same time, but just for the sake of the showcase, I made it this way. And now I'll explain everything related to the mechanic itself. So once you get a medallion, right, you get the HUD, and the ability is now activated, right? In this case, this is the Flint I showed on the previous video. It just has huge knockback, and it one-taps every player, right? As you can see, this is basically the exotic Flint knot that once was in the game. Also, another thing about this mechanic is that you can drop medallions, right? And they would fall to the ground, just as in Fortnite. And it would happen the same if you actually die. If you die, it would appear wherever the player that had the medallion died. And also, yeah, so once you die or once you drop it, as you can see, I have the Flint knock here, but if I drop it, I don't have it anymore. So I'm gonna show all the other medallions and its abilities. Second one is healing aura, so I'm gonna damage myself. I'm gonna crouch for 2 seconds, and it has this BFX, and it would grant me some HP that I have actually set up here on the burst device machine that I made. The cool thing about this mechanic is that you can actually modify everything on the machine itself. So everything you're gonna see here, you can actually, if you had the code, you can actually go plug it in and have the same or even more possibilities that I'm not gonna showcase because I made a lot. Also, another thing is that if you take another medallion, right, the previous ability you had would reset, of course, and also the previous medallion you had would appear wherever you take the other medallion. So let's continue now with this one. This is the magic orb. So this one grants invulnerability. I'm gonna crouch for 2 seconds, and now I'm invulnerable. If I drop the medallion, I die. Also, all the values related to how much time the player is invulnerable for, what else? The cooldown after you have used the ability and all of that, you can actually modify that on the burst device. Next one, the purple hollow. This one, I showcased it previously. This one, I like it a lot, not gonna lie, because I'm a huge Jujutsu Kaisen fan. And it didn't work because I didn't hit the player, because I'm just bad. Yeah, if you hit him, it should kill him, of course. I don't know what's happening here. I'm just being bad. Okay. Yeah, but this one is basically like a spell, right? Now I killed him. I was just bad. Let's continue then with this one. Damage x2. So now I'm gonna fire him. It just deals 100 damage. But if I have it pressed for 2 seconds, it would grant me this effect. And now, oh, it just deals. I don't know. I don't think it's x2. I think it's 1.5 because I set it up wrongly. But yeah. Now this is purple hollow, and for this one, this is really cool too. If you press the fire weapon for 2 seconds, you became invisible, like this, right? Also, if you drop it now, you become visible. So yeah, this is the mechanic itself. I'm gonna just briefly show you. Not that thing. The burst device. Just so you can see all the possibilities it gives you when it comes to choosing an ability. Oh, you can see it now. Okay, you can see it now. So once you, this is again the medallion itself, right? All related to the gravity, all related to when someone presses it, all related to all of that. By the way, I made this trigger medallion just so you, just in case you wanted to, how do I say it? Add a different ability. Imagine that you have a different burst code that, I don't know, drops a nuke, alright, when somebody triggers a trigger, right? So I actually made this trigger just in case you wanted to have a special power in your from another burst code that is not mine. So yeah, this is the medallion itself, related to all the things I said: gravity and name, the input trigger to drop it, and all of that. And now once you get here to the medallion ability, I'm gonna create another one from scratch. Once you get here to the medallion ability, you can select the type of ability, right? You can select the type. So for instance, if you choose the orb one, right, you can go here in power, and it would give you two options, right? It gives you invulnerability and it gives you invisibility. Now, as you can see here, you have activation time, the delay time, which is basically the cooldown, the clear trigger, and just for the VFX stuff and all of that, and the input, of course, to trigger the ability. Now, let's say you want another one, which is the cast type, right? It's just basically a spell. This is just a spell, basically. You can set everything here. The cinematic if you have one, check zones if you have any, the input spell to cast it, the spell damage, and all of that. Let's go on weapons. On weapons, you have again the cooldown, the item remover, just in case. Well, not in case. If you are using weapons, you need to remove them after the guy has died or has dropped the medallion or whatever. Here you have two options, which are the Flint knock that I showcased, and also a bombs weapon, which is basically a weapon that shoots bombs and has this a knockback, but only affects the player that has been targeted by this weapon. Okay, so and finally we have here buffs, and in buffs you can go here and you'll have 4 possibilities, which is HP, damage, speed, and jump. These are all abilities that you can select from here, and they would be awarded to a player that gets the medallion. Input buff, again the same. You always need like an input trigger to know what's happening. Damage in case you are dealing damage. HP in case you are healing. Buff VFX. Time activated. This time that the player has this effect, whether it's jump, HP, extra damage, or whatever. What else? Yeah, and the cooldown, which is also very good. Otherwise, all the abilities wouldn't be balanced, and there would be some issues because there would be overpowered abilities. Imagine having infinite HP healing duration. So yeah, I'll be adding more mechanics to this, especially more abilities. But yeah, this is basically it. And what I'm selling, by the way, is this 6 meshes you have here. You can select 4 because I'm only selling 4. You can choose whatever you want, whichever you want. Sorry. I'm also selling this HUD, which is the one I showcased in the video. And yeah, if you want to know more about the code, you can just hit me up on Discord or on Twitter, and I'll tell you more about it. So thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed the medallions mechanic I made. Bye.